Hello and welcome back to Normal Island. I am back. Oh my God, it's Sarah Dallal. I think I'm the only one that's probably really excited to be here. I hope you guys are too. But I'm even more excited because I'm joined by the incredible comedian and actor Suze Kempner. Hello.
Hi. Thanks so much for calling me an actor.
No, but you're great though, and it's really like I'm really honoured to have you here.
Thank you. I'm honoured to be here. I'm an idiot.
Oh my, you're not. I think that's my title. Don't worry, that's definitely my title. I'm really, really excited to have you and to get your insight. But yeah, super exciting. So yeah, proper honour to have you. But I'm not going to blather too much because we're going to do a lot of that throughout the show. But coming up tonight, when the far right says I'm a fascist and Jubilee calls it a discussion, Mehdi Hasan debated 20 MAGA supporters. Work till you drop, vote Labour. Labour looks at pension reforms and the £100 billion lie. Steve Reed lies about water nationalisation costs. So, with that being said, make sure I didn't put this in the script, but make sure to comment as you're watching. You can tell it's been a while since I've been on the show. Make sure you guys keep your comments going, and then we'll obviously get to it at the end. And share the stream out to a friend of a friend if you can. But yeah, on to our first story. So this week, Mehdi Hasan went on to Jubilee's Surrounded, and this was titled One Progressive versus 20 Far-Right Trump Supporters. Why, you may ask? Because apparently we need more panels where fascists get to share their feelings. Now, the prompt on this particular part of the video was titled Donald Trump is defying the Constitution. Mehdi made a basic point in that Trump tried to overturn an election. It's pretty straightforward, at least I would think so anyway, for a conversation. But then up steps someone called Connor. Let's have a look at what he says.
The bits that you disagree with. Can I just be clear on that?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
I'm more than willing to amend it and include
whenever
the
it's in your
amendment.
favor.
Yeah,
Okay.
absolutely.
So can Democrats do the same when they're in office?
No, absolutely not. Because
so you don't
it's
believe in democracy?
No, I don't. Absolutely not.
What do you believe in?
Autocracy.
By who?
Honestly, quite frankly, anyone who is in line with Catholic teaching.
Donald Trump is not Catholic.
Of course, he's not. I completely agree, and that's
you
part of the problem.
Trump? You don't support Trump?
No, I don't. I didn't even vote for him. I wrote in like John Pork or someone. I can't even remember.
Why did you vote if you don't believe in democracy and you want autocracy?
Well, because quite frankly, I voted. I kind of voted just to.
I came with this argument, but I'm bored of my own argument. I'm much more interested in this. So
yeah, absolutely.
How do we get to an autocracy?
I think, quite frankly, that if we are able to enact local leaders,
who is the we, by the way?
I think, quite frankly, these far-right conservatives sitting right around
white
me.
people.
Yeah,
no
absolutely.
So,
well, actually, I have quite.
Some of the people in this room don't make the cut from what I can see visually.
Actually, hold on for a moment. I do think that there are people who happen to not be white who do actually have history in this country and have roots in this country. For instance, from the Mexican-American War, we subsumed a lot of territory of people who have far stakes in this country who happen to be Hispanic or what have you. I'm for defending the traditional demographics of this country, which is majority white and should stay that way.
How does the United States... I mean, we've gone so off topic, but how does the United States look like under you? Sorry, what's your name?
My name is, my name's Connor. It's a pleasure to meet you.
Took a little bit of a doubt.
Said, oh, my name's, I had to think about it. Goodness me. But I don't believe in democracy. I believe in autocracy. What's even more embarrassing are the twats that are clapping their hands every time he makes a rubbish point. I mean, let's see what else he says, because there's more that Connor comes out with, and I can't get enough of him.
I use a pseudonym online, but fair enough.
How would Connor's America look? What would it look like?
Well, quite frankly, I think we would deport people who shouldn't be here.
No, I didn't ask about deporting. What does the government look like?
What does the government look like?
Yeah.
I would say, quite frankly, it's under a sort of benevolent leader, such as
Where does he
Franco.
come from?
It could be a kind of aristocratic class. Could be someone
who picks the autocrat?
Frankly, the people. I mean, we could hold a vote on it. Kings were
isn't that democracy?
Well, sure. You can have a vote to get to that stage.
And then no more votes afterwards?
Absolutely.
Wow.
100%.
Wow. And if that autocrat kills you and your family, you're fine with that?
Well, I'm not going to be a part of the group that he kills, because that's the whole thing.
How do you know? Autocrats tend to kill everyone, even their own supporters.
Schmidt makes this point very well in his work. It's the friend-enemy distinction, right?
Carl Schmitt, the Nazi theoretician.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't care.
Are you a fan of the Nazis?
I frankly don't care being called a Nazi at all.
I didn't say that. I didn't actually say that. I said, are you a fan of the Nazis?
Well, they persecuted the church a little bit. I'm not a fan of that. But
What about the
you know,
persecution of the Jews?
Well, I mean, I certainly don't support anyone's human dignity being assaulted. I'm a Catholic.
But
And
you
so
don't condemn Nazi persecution of the Jews?
I think that there was a little bit of persecution
We
and
may
stuff like
have
that,
to
which is
rename
bad.
this show because you're a little bit more than a far-right Republican.
Hey, what can I say?
I think you can say, I'm a fascist.
Yeah, I am. Absolutely.
I'm just checking who's clapping just to get my set of where everyone
Because
is on this.
in
Because you know
during-
that millions of people are going to be watching you on YouTube and checking out
Yeah,
who the fascists
absolutely.
and the Nazis are.
I'm not ashamed of that whatsoever.
clearly you're not.
During
You're
the pre-war period, prior to World War II, it was only those parties that properly enacted the people's will.
Oh, Connor, you finally said it. He's a fash. He's a fash. I mean, he's talking in circles, but also how frightening. And just to make sure we're all clear on what kind of politics we're dealing with here, Connor references Carl Schmitt, the Nazi jurist whose whole intellectual project was about dismantling liberal democracy in favor of authoritarian rule. Schmitt is the go-to theorist for fascists because he justifies dictatorship as necessary for order. Connor's not hiding it. And Jubilee just politely gives him the mic. Sorry, I know you might be done with Connor, but actually, there's just one more clip, I promise. Just one more.
Frankly, like
I'm offended by people who can't condemn the Nazis. Yes, I am.
okay. Well, I condemn the evils that they did, but I don't really
Against
care
the
about
Jews?
being. Yeah, sure. I don't care about being called a Nazi.
Sure.
Is the whole thing.
I never called you a Nazi.
I care
You
about
called
doing
yourself
the right
a Nazi,
thing.
a fascist, and a General Franco
Well,
supporter.
yeah, I am a General Franco supporter. He was awesome. He was so super cool, quite frankly. Because the whole
And
thing.
you don't believe in democracy.
I don't believe in
What
democracy.
are you doing here at a televised debate? This is democracy. I want to debate and disagree.
Because it is the means to support an end. The reason we have free speech now is because we want to be openly talking about our opinions so we can get the state that we want. But it doesn't mean upholding free speech after we win. Again, I mentioned
the only good thing about this fascist moment we're in is that you guys are so open about it.
The whole reason I mentioned
the quiet part loud.
the
Keep saying
whole
it.
reason I mentioned Carl Schmitt earlier, and you kind of blew past him, is the friend-enemy distinction.
Past him because of the Nazi
even
point.
liberals, when they take power, they want to enact policies and they want to enact protections for their people and their ideas, and they're willing to punish their enemy. And so I'm the same way. I'm like, hey, if you're going to punish me, I'm going to get in power, and I'm going to frankly punish you when you try to leverage power against me. Just that simple.
Oh my God, yeah, fascism is so simple, isn't it? I mean, let's pause on that. I think I've got enough. I've had enough of Connor. But it's not a fringe crank muttering on Telegram. This is literally a man that's been invited by Jubilee, which I cannot stand, by the way. I fucking hate Jubilee. To sit on the stage and apparently debate as if fascism, dictatorship, and genocide nostalgia are just another perspective to consider. I mean, don't
Hi. While we get Sarah back, I assume Sarah and I will sort of agree on Jubilee because she did just say she hated it. She's back. Hi, Sarah.
Hello, I'm so sorry. It seems that they're trying to cancel me. Let me not be. Yes, they're trying to take me down. No, I'm so sorry. I'm almost done. I won't criticise them too heavily this time, but I will say that I think debate is obviously important, but a precondition of a useful debate, it should be centered around some shared goal and principle. But with that being said, of the shared goals in the room with us, the biggest scam I see here is frankly Jubilee. Jubilee packages this as balance, as free speech, as democracy, as healthy discourse. This is how liberal proceduralism, sorry, I had to say it really quickly so I didn't say it badly, how it ends up laundering fascism. Jubilee's not unique in this. Bill Mayers did it for years. Piers Morgan does it weekly, but Jubilee slaps on a layer of YouTube chic civility and pretends they're doing something noble, but they're truly not. I think they're pretty much farming outrage clicks and legitimizing the far right in the process. Suze, please come in and save me from my mishap by criticizing Jubilee too much. I kind of want to get your all of it. I mean, what did you make of Connor and what he was saying?
Feel like Mehdi Hasan, I think he has said this. He was led to believe that he would be debating 20 far right Republicans. And I think you can tell pretty quickly from Connor there that wasn't what's happening. He'd been misled because what he was debating was a full on fascist. And it's very interesting that he went straight to, I don't mind if you call me a Nazi. And he said, I didn't call you a Nazi. You just said that you support the writings of Schmidt. You support the work of Franco. And then this guy's like so chuffed to be able to go, yeah, Franco's super cool, which just made him look like the little pudding nerd boy that he is. I can't stand Jubilee. I'm with you on that. I think it is click harvesting. It's like a breeding ground for these clout goblins, and they do mislead the people they had on there. I've only ever enjoyed one Jubilee that I watched, and it was Sam Cedars, who I thought was brilliant. And what I thought was brilliant from that was the reaction of the online reactionary right on Twitter, the Everything app. They saw clips and assumed that the guy that Sam Cedar was debating with, who was this sort of LA, I believe he's a like a queer former actor who actually works for Jubilee, but he was debating Sam Cedar, and people watching all assumed that that was the lefty and that Sam Cedar was the conservative reading him his rights, and it was very, very telling. But I feel like Jubilee can only keep going further right to get more shocking. I thought that the Mehdi Hasan Jubilee was going to feel a bit like the Sam Cedar one, but it just felt increasingly like most of those 20 were desperate to get their kicks in on a brown man. That's what it felt like. It was a really unpleasant watch.
So unpleasant, and I actually completely agree with you. And I don't normally say this about people, but I think they are so intellectually dishonest. Like, I was like, I don't think that they're even equipped for a conversation with Mehdi Hasan, like, at all.
No,
Like, they need to get out of that space.
They came on and just roared their politics at him. That was what they were there to do. They were there to yell their politics. All their social media is in the description of the Jubilee video. So I think that Connor has 70,000 Instagram followers. So he was there to boost his Instagram following, and he's too cowardly to even use his real name. That's embarrassing for him.
There's something wrong with the streaming platform today. I'm so sorry. It keeps dropping me out for some odd reason, which never normally happens. So I'm really confused. Maybe I have been going a little bit too hard on Jubilee. Sorry, Jubilee. We think you're great. You don't pay my bills though. And also, I do think, like, I guess my next question to you is, because they're never going to do something that's about class dynamics, and they'll never do something that's like, here's a billionaire and here are his underpaid or her underpaid workers. Like,
Yeah.
they'll never do something like that. So is a conversation truly the great equalizer that Jubilee implies, or do formats like these flatten very, very real hierarchies, like making it seem as though a neo-Nazi, a fash, and a journalist each have, they just have opinions? But when you have one side's opinions that could equate to violence or oppression for the other, at what point does giving both sides a mic actually undermine the truth and justice?
I agree. There's another guy who insisted that his he insisted he was Native American, and Mehdi Hassan was like, "No, you're not." And he said, "Yes, I am. My family can be traced back to 15th century settlers." It's like, you just used the word settlers. You fucking legend. I mean, he arrived saying, hi, I have to make sure I stay calm because who knows what will happen if I don't. It's like, that's just an intimidatory tactic. And he obviously thought it made him look amazing to the sort of people who would watch his content to go, well, who knows what I might do? I might lash out and get violent. So we're talking about literal violence there. And it was just part of what an unpleasant watch this 90 minutes were. Did you see it right to the end? Did you see the after interviews?
No, I think so. I don't know what it is with my focus. I fall asleep really easily, but there
it's the
was
relaxing nature of a Jubilee.
I was like, oh, Fash talking in my ear. How wonderful was that? No, I'd watched up until there was this Iranian American guy.
Yes, with his iconic hat. Yeah.
Yeah, with the nice hat, but fucking waffle and shit coming out of his mouth. I was
Yeah.
like, "What are you talking about?" Like, Mehdi
Yeah.
kept asking him the same question over and over, like, "Do you condone the killing of kids and
Yeah.
children?" And this guy's like, "But what were the kids doing? What
Mm.
were the kids doing?" And I was like, I I found myself getting incredibly, like, I was seething with anger, and I used to be this person, like, you can ask, Lewis, who's on the turn left, and Callum and Cog. I debate on TikTok all the time. I used to. Now I can't handle it. It does things to my blood pressure. So like there's things I can't handle with watching Jubilee, and I think that was my tipping point. When you have to try and convince someone that killing children is wrong,
Mm.
I just think that's not even a debate. It's just bad faith actors, to be honest.
Yeah, there was I know he's come up against some criticism for the I I think it was that guy. It was the guy who said, "I heart General Franco." And I mean, we should be clear, that guy also said that Donald Trump is too far left for him. So, this idea that, Mehdi had come to, debate 20 far-right Republicans wasn't true, because this guy said, "I didn't even vote for Donald Trump." Donald Trump to him is just woke, I guess. Um, but Mehdi then said, "Well, there's absolutely no point in debating you." And I have seen some people saying, "What sort of show did you think you were appearing on?" But I wouldn't debate a flat earther. Surely free speech means we could choose whether to debate someone or not. And there was no point debating that guy in particular, and a few of those people. There were no minds to be changed, and they did just appear with their talking points and hammer him with them. That had nothing to do with what he'd said in the first place.
Completely agree with you. I think it always comes down to when you're speaking to someone who comes from an ethnic minority or minoritized community, it will always come back to, but you're not really American or you're not
Mm,
really British. So I used to get that
mhm.
all the time. I still get that every now and then online, and
Really?
I'm just, yeah, I'm just like, get
Yeah.
fucked. Like, I'll see you
Yeah.
later. Like,
Yeah, yeah, sure.
you know
Yeah.
what I mean? So yeah. But on to our second story. Thank you so much, Suze. So Labour's Liz Kendall has just confirmed what many suspected. There's a lot of talks about pension reviews, but it seems like they're coming for your pensions. This week, Kendall announced the review of the state pension age and made it clear the so-called triple lock is only safe until the next election. But after that, it's out of scope, which is just a super cute way of Labour already planning how to water it down, I imagine. And don't be fooled by the polite language about independent commissions and difficult choices and fiscal responsibility. It's still austerity. Raising the pension age hits one group hardest, and it's always working class people who tend to do manual jobs who already die younger. People in wealthier areas will collect decades of pensions. People in poorer areas, many will die before they even reach the finish line. I was even reading today that there is a gender gap with pension too. That's something that needs to be considered, where women will get £5,000 less than their male counterparts. Labour knows this, by the way. They just don't care, never have, and never will. Starmer's government would rather please the markets than protect the people who built this country. They campaigned on defending pensions. Now they're looking for excuses to make us work longer for less. And as for Liz Kendall, this is the same politician who fought for the women's pensions in opposition, but now shrugs and says, we can't afford it. Classic technocratic bullshit and betrayal. When it's ordinary people, they never have any money. The choice Labour is making is clear: protect profit and punish workers. Sorry, no graphics. So I hope you guys stay focused with me. Suze, it was only a matter of time, wasn't it? Some might argue that people are living longer, so let's raise the pension age. It's natural, but I think we know that not everyone, sorry, is living longer, especially poorer Britons who've been stagnating or even falling longevity. Is using average life expectancy a form of statistical trickery that ignores the class gap in health?
Oh, sure. Did she say what age they were thinking of raising it to? I'm guessing she didn't.
No, she
No, of
didn't.
course not. No, they like to hedge their bets and see if it's popular or not, don't they? And it just never fucking is. It's like Labour incapable of making the popular choice. Yeah, no, quite. If you are someone who can fall back on inheritance in your 60s, from parents who might be in their 80s or 90s at that point, then you're not going to be reliant so much on a pension. If you're not, if your parents didn't own property, and this is people my parents' age now, are going to find they don't inherit anything. And then if the pension age is being raised so high, like when are they going to be working to? The mid 70s? Like my nana's 95 years old. I'm worried she's going to raise it to 95, and my nana's going to have to get a job, and that's not good because she can't even keep track of where the remote is from one day to the next. And she thinks it controls like the telly, the heating, and her toilet. So I'm concerned. I want to hear what age Liz is thinking of raising pension age to, because there must be an upper limit, surely.
Yeah, I mean, you'd think so, but the way that I feel like Labour have been moving as well is like they want to shame people for not working. They want to shame people for staying in work for as long as they can.
People, they never say working class.
Never,
It's
always
always
working
working people.
people. And we always know that it's going to impact the working classes the most. I mean, this whole like, I guess, glorification of like, well, if you're not working, then you're useless to society. And I think what they're doing is that they are prioritizing how productive you are in society over your livelihood and your well-being and who you are as an individual. And I think we've seen the rhetoric kind of be spewed out that, like, come on, you know, these people that are on universal credit, these people who are unemployed, like, they're the ones that are taking from you. And it's like, no, hello, it's the billionaires. The billionaires are taking from us. It's you guys that are making us suffer the way that we are. So I feel like it's just, again, it's another almost scapegoat. Like, if it's not, we had this conversation before, but if it's not working classes, then it's going to be the old people. If it's not them, it's going to be the LGBTQ plus people. If it's not them, then it's going to be ethnic minorities. Like, it's always going to be a group of people who are very, very vulnerable in society, isn't it?
Yeah, it's never going to be the super rich. It's never going to be corporations. It's never going to be their donors. I watched Adam Curtis's new series Shifty last month, and there was constantly, like, Thatcher's constantly featured, and she's constantly like paranoid about the unions and talks about how powerful the unions are. And I've heard from numerous people my entire life, well, the thing is the unions got too powerful. And whether that's true or not, it's now the government, whoever that is, it's currently Labour apparently, whoever it is, they're now beholden to corporate donors.
Yeah.
So it might as well be the unions. I'd rather they were beholden to the unions.
No, I completely agree. But I love that you said that it's apparently Labour in government, because you wouldn't know, would you? I mean, and this kind of ties in quite nicely to my second question, because Starmer and Kendall are presenting this as responsible governance, like claiming that we can't be as generous anymore, like we kind of need to be a little bit like tighter. I mean, but do you buy that, or is this essentially a continuation of Tory style austerity under a Labour banner?
Yeah, and I mean, if people like us have been warning about it since Starmer came in, since before Starmer came in, this is the direction they would head in. There'll be, I was shocked because they've been in a year now. I was shocked by how shit they got how fast. I thought they'd at least cover it up for the first 18 months. So they didn't. They were straight in there like, but you will endlessly get people like digging their heels in and saying, no, it's good. Don't you understand? None of this can happen overnight. The thing is, I don't feel like, I haven't met anyone who thought things would get better overnight. And the things that they have done in a hurry, for example, enact the first new anti-LGBT legislation since Thatcher, they did that pretty fast. They were able to get that done pretty fast. They were able to take away disability benefits pretty fast. Like, there's stuff that they've been able to do extremely quickly, and as far as I'm concerned, it hasn't made things better and never can. So I think it is waking a lot of people up to what people like us already knew, which was the austerity isn't because they're dumb and thought it would be good. They know it's bad, but they don't care. As long as they're losing to the right and not the left, it's okay.
Absolutely right. They don't care. They don't.
They don't give
They're
a
all
shit.
circle jerks to Thatcher anyway, aren't they? Ooh,
Mhm.
I'm being a bit ridiculous today. Let me chill out. Let me I don't want to get done. Right. So, but really well said, Suze. Thank you so much. So if you guys are enjoying the stream, you guys know I hate this part, but I love it, low key. I'm just very bad at it. Then please like and subscribe. Just to remind the viewers, we are obviously 5 volunteers. We all have full-time jobs alongside of this. And we don't get paid to do any of this, but one day we would love for this to be our full-time job. So if you can, then consider becoming a supporter by going to turnleftmedia.co.uk/support. And there you can become a monthly patron, or there is another link for a one-off donation. And of course, you can also become a YouTube member for just 99 pence. But please remember to do not put yourself out. But yeah, if you can't, then just like, comment, and subscribe. That goes a long way too. But on to our final story that's been making headlines. Labour's Steve Reed is out here claiming it would cost £100 billion to bring water back into public ownership. Let's have a look.
When you were in Jeremy Corbyn's Labour Party and you served on the front bench, you stood on manifestos of saying that water should be one of the industries that should be nationalised. So why not look at that now?
Well, nationalisation would cost upwards of £100 billion that we'd have to take away from the National Health Service and schools to give to the owners of the companies that have polluted our rivers, lakes and seas.
So it's just about cost, not about the principle?
No, point one is we'd have to take money away from the NHS. We've provided an extra 4 million appointments through the investment that we put into the NHS to cut waiting lists. We'd have to take that away and throw it into reverse to give the money to the people that have polluted our rivers. It doesn't make any sense to me. Secondly, if we try to unpick the current model of ownership, it would take years. And during that period, pollution would get worse because the companies wouldn't invest knowing that they were going to be nationalised.
Yeah, sorry, the video is lagging, so I don't know when I came on. Maybe I was doing that millennial pause, but I'm not even a millennial. Title nonsense, by the way. Steve Reed, Steve, make the working class bleed. That's what you want to do. It's a lie. I mean, that figure comes straight from a discredited 2018 industry report that was designed to scare you into accepting endless privatization. The reality is that most of these water companies are effectively bankrupt. Their quote unquote fair value, which is what any government would pay to take them over, is actually close to zero. Thames Water alone is £17 billion in debt and circling the drain. These companies are not worth £100 billion. Don't believe their bloody lies. They're barely worth a pound. Then we've got Sarah, Reform MP, claiming maybe we're not paying enough for our water. Hilarious. Let's check her out.
If you look at your water bills compared to, say, your electricity bills, on average, your water bill is probably a quarter every year of what you pay for your electricity. Now, with water, we plug in, we drink tap water, we flush the loo. We take all that for granted. And yet we actually are paying, if you look at it, if you compare it to your electricity, not that much for that service.
So you think bills should be higher?
I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is, are we paying enough for our water?
Again, the pause. Sorry. Cheers, Sarah. Thanks so much. Not me. Cheers for her for being so shit. Yeah, yeah. Literally, I'm the better Sarah. That goes without saying. While bills are already set to rise 36%, and millions are still dealing with sewage in their rivers and leaks in their streets, mate, we're already paying through the nose, but not for clean water. We're paying for decades of dividends, debt loading, and executive bonuses. £85 billion handed to shareholders since privatisation, £70 billion racked up in debt. And now they tell us we should pay more. Pack it in, Sarah. So, how much would it actually cost for nationalisation? Richard Murphy, a professor of accounting practice at Sheffield University Management School, says this.
The number that is bandied around by politicians is £90 billion, and you'll also hear them saying that it's going to be paid for by taxpayers' money. There's two issues with their claims. One is that £90 billion was an estimate prepared some time ago by a very right-wing think tank who basically thought that if you were going to nationalise water, you would have to repay all the debts owed by the water companies to the loan financiers who have kept them in business and profited heavily by doing so. That's total nonsense. If a company is bust, you don't pay off the loan financiers to it. You pay a fair value for the business, and that is it. What's the fair value of the water companies right now, given that they are both actually financially insolvent in some cases, like Thames Water, or environmentally insolvent in the sense that they can't actually deliver us clean water without it being full of, let's be blunt, shit? In most cases, well, their value is nothing, in my opinion. Literally, precisely £0, or maybe £1 each. That's the price we should pay for the water companies. And would we have to pay taxpayers' money to bail these companies out? Let's not talk nonsense here. We have nationalised companies in the past. And what do we use to nationalise companies? We issue new debt to nationalise companies. Not a single penny of money raised from taxpayers is involved in any way at all, because firstly, there will be almost nothing to pay, and secondly, bonds will pay for it. And if the bonds are issued at the right price, and there may only be a few of them, then you should be able to raise enough money by running these companies profitably in the future, in the way that we would desire, without ever imposing a burden on the.
And I'm back. I love him. I love him. I love Richard. Heart, Richard. Love you. And he makes it make sense as well. But Suze, let me bring you in. Water is a basic human right, even though it seems like it's not. But it seems to be like this revenue stream for hedge funds. All of this is surely just about defending failed privatization at all costs, not serving the public, right?
Yeah, as always. I don't know exactly when the water was privatised. It's late 80s, wasn't it? But it was under Thatcher. It's never been popular. I, as with anything that gets privatised, you sell it off, and then you get whatever it was, a few billion, and then what? You just spend that, and then all that money's gone, and the water remains privatised. It's like when I remember it being explained to me very succinctly when Nadine Dorries was like, I'm going to sell off Channel 4. And it was going to be for 2 billion. And it was like, and then you just have that 2 billion and you spend it. It never worked, obviously, because she's inept. Yeah, this is just more of that. And it's not popular. And I think it's 82% of the British public, when polled, want the water to be renationalised, which means that Starmer is part of the 18%, and that's a bit embarrassing. I've just cut out the middleman now. I just go down. I live next to the River Mole. I just go down there, shit in the river. It's like, if you can't beat them, join them.
Because if you can't beat them, join them, literally. It's true, though. I mean, it's interesting as well with that statistic, 82%, will saying nationalise, renationalise water. And then you've got the 18% who are kind of just like, sorry, no, it doesn't serve our interests. So fuck it, let's not do it.
Yeah.
And I think what they're also saying is like, yeah, let's make water bills go up to, 36%. Let's make them jump to 36%. In coming years. And obviously there is lots of public anger over these sewage spills and these leaks. What would you say to the idea that consumers should pay even more? Like, where should the money for fixing the system really come from?
I'll tell you what, Steve has got this big plan. His big aim is to reduce sewage in the water by 50%, which sounds amazing. Only half the amount of human shit in our water would be so cool. And I mean, it's not Labour saying this, but you've got Reform's newest nightmare saying, maybe they're not paying enough. What was it she said? She was like, it's only a fifth of what you pay for your electricity. Seems like a pretty good deal. Maybe it should go up. Right? Farage surely is at the side the studio going, no. Shut the fuck up. Why am I the only one who knows how to do this? So I think that when it's something tangible, like when people can actually see the brown in their water rising up at the bottom of their garden, I think that's when people get really angry. So Labour could placate an awful lot of people just by doing this. Just like a little bit of nationalisation, just for a treat. They could just do a tiny bit, and there'd be an awful lot of people who would say, well, I think they're actually doing a really good job. But they won't even do that, because the 18% who don't want it renationalised are the ruling class, I guess. They're the ones who are making money from this.
Yeah,
These companies, they said they're worth 100 billion or 100
Yeah,
million?
100 billion.
100 billion. A company that frequently has to have more handouts from the taxpayer. Where's
Yeah,
that 100 billion going, man? I
I
want to.
know.
What's it? Is it just a nice building? I don't know.
Yeah, it's lining their bloody pockets. And then
Yeah.
when I saw Sarah saying what she was saying, I was just like, you know what? Piss off. Like, you just don't get it. You don't get what it's like to live the way that we live and to have stagnant wages and then be faced with an increase in your water bill or an increase in your electricity bill, coupled with, I don't know, an increase in what else, God knows, gas and all of this shit that's come in and council tax, like all of this stuff mounts up. She doesn't get what struggle is. The 18% or whoever they are, the 1%, even if it's just 1%, don't get what this struggle is, but they have the power to fucking sort it out. But they decide they don't want to because they don't care about us.
Yeah, I think they are constantly shooting themselves in the foot and leading us closer to the glorious revolution that I've been hoping for since I was a really annoying red menace teenager. But the like I said before, I wasn't aware Labour were going to be this shit this quickly. So they're kind of speeding up. They're doing total Thatcher speed run. And I know it leads us to reform and that they don't care about that. But reform are part of the same problem, aren't they? Nigel Farage is good at saying the populist thing. And smart enough to say, like, well, we'll go nationalise water. Like, right, well, that is very popular. 82% of the public want that. So you can't really blame people who are so disillusioned with the two main parties for then going, well, maybe I'll go look over there then. They seem to be putting their foot down and doing something, and he's on every single fucking show saying the things I want to hear. So it makes sense that someone like Sarah, completely out of her depth on politics live, would be part of the next government.
Yeah, you're so right. You're so right. It's frightening. You're right, and it's that party that says they're not part of the establishment, but they do capitalize on people's grievances. We should be angry about the fact that water's not nationalised, and there's shit in the waters and stuff. Like, we should be, but I don't want it to be to come from someone who is literally part of the establishment. Like, no thanks. He doesn't represent us. He's not our voice.
He's a banker who's managed to succeed in politics for a quarter of a century. Like, he was an MEP from 99. This guy's thrived in this system. This system has allowed him to thrive, and the media has too. They made him a star, and he is. He's a superstar. That guy is amazing at getting stuff done without even being an elected MP until a year ago. Like, Labour shouldn't be. Labour should be using him as an example of what can be achieved.
How to use your voice effectively.
Yeah, right? Look at him. He's absolutely killing it. Meanwhile, we've got Liz Kendall with her 4% in 2015. Never forgive, never forget. Coming on and going like, oh, I don't know, maybe we should put the pension age up. Might be quite good. What do you reckon? No, I won't name an age. Like, no wonder Reform are surging ahead. And no wonder Labour are polling on a par with a new party by the very, very dangerous and terrifying cult-like, but also irrelevant and ineffectual Corbyn and Sultana. They don't even have a name for the party yet. No wonder Labour are polling on a par with that. It's so frustrating to watch, but it's nice seeing people gradually realising, oh, it's because they don't care.
Yeah.
Sorry, I've never done a show like this before, so I'm like, another thing.
Another thing. No, trust me, I love it. I'm here for it. Please come again. But I'm really, really grateful you're here, and that was really great insight and a wonderful analysis too. Is our producer there, so we can go to comments?
Hello, really good show so far. I'm really liking this vibe actually tonight, and also I think it's nice to have a women presenting shows, because obviously it's male dominated. I know our audience wants a bit more diversity. We're working on it, guys. But yeah, thank you so far. I do just want to address the elephant in the room, which is obviously our tech issues, because a lot of people know that. It's weird. Our software, which we've been using for quite a while now, for some people just kicks you out, and since we're doing this all remotely, it's with limited options, but we are looking for, better stuff. And, if you do want to support us, you can go to turnleftmedia.co.uk/support. Sort of plug that in there. But we've got a lot of comments to get through. First one is from Alyssa Gucci, who is also my partner. And she says, is Curtis producing tonight? So just let you know that it was his birthday yesterday, as I'm sure he'd love to read some birthday love in the comments.
Curtis, you're such a dick for not telling us. You're such a dick. Happy birthday. Oh my God.
Happy birthday.
Thank you very much, and don't worry.
Kurt.
Not the only ones. Edward Sexby says happy birthday yesterday for Curtis. Zeke the Beast, lucky Curtis gets to eat cake. In fact, I didn't actually eat any cake, but I had a lot of margaritas. So
excellent.
Same sort of thing, isn't it?
Yeah. I don't even want to think about alcohol.
So, Flow Snake is talking about on the first story, which was the Jubilee. Obviously, Mehdi Hasan debated 20 fascists. Right? The title of the show was far right sort of commentators. They're beyond that, although far right and fascism is pretty much the same thing. But these are people like open Nazi, some of them. But this is a reference to you, Suze, when you talked about Sam Cedar.
Oh,
Flow Snake. Yeah, Flow Snake says, I knew she was going to say Sam Cedar. That was a classic. I don't know if everybody in the audience watched it, but Sam Cedar did a similar thing. And it was the same again. I mean, Sam Cedar, a leftist from America, manhandled 20 people. But it's not that hard to do when you have 20 people on the right who really don't know what they're talking about.
Absolutely. This is what I said. They had no clue. Like every single time they've got these people on the right coming, or people on the right, these actual Nazis coming onto a fucking platform. You watch them talk. They are talking in circles. They answer zero questions. And the questions that they do answer so willingly is A, they're using pseudonyms, firstly. Secondly, they're like, yeah, I am a fash. And yeah, I do like General Franco, rah, rah, like, and Carl Schmitt, like, shut up. Like, you're disgusting. And the whole entire time, what they were doing to Mehdi Hasan in that video is they were saying, but you're not American. And he's like, well, I've got a citizenship. And they were like, yeah, but you can't be here.
Yeah, 3 different people told him that they wanted him deported. I think it wasn't Connor, actually. It was a different guy, the guy who said that his family had been there since the 15th century, so he was a Native American. He said, get out. He said, get out, bro, like that. And Mehdi said, why? He went, because I don't want you here. And that really sums it up. I think it's worth saying that a large proportion of these 20 debaters were, like I said, far to the right of Trump. I guarantee they all watch Nick Fuentes.
Oh yeah.
They seem to be, Connor in particular, little pudding boy Connor, he was like, basically, if you closed your eyes, it could have been Fuentes. So that's obviously who he idolizes, and he has a substantial online following, but nothing like as big as Fuentes. So that's obviously his goal. And stuff like Jubilee is a great platform for him. That's a really good way of getting his face out there. So Jubilee is literally aiding the clout of these people who believe in very little.
It's worth noting that I can't remember which person it was, but when they said their ancestors came from the 15th century, he even admitted, he said settlers.
Yeah,
right?
He said the word settlers.
He said the word settlers, and this is the thing, they know that they're not, I mean, look, being native to me is completely irrelevant, because everyone's a native, it just depends how far back you go, right?
Yeah.
But these people don't care about that. They don't care about illegal migration and legal migration. For them, it's the same. And this is what I find really important, that people, I want people to take this sort of message away from politicians, whether it's Reform, whether it's the GOP in America, when they hyper-focus on illegal migration, right? They don't just mean that. That's just the entry point. That's just where the Overton window is. But once the so-called centre ground becomes every single party is now hyper-focused on illegal migration, right? These parties then go, well, actually, maybe let's look at legal migration. Rupert Lowe, for example, I don't call people I disagree with a fascist a lot, right? But I think Rupert Lowe is empirically a fascist, because he's now been posting stuff, this group called Reclaim Britain or Reform. No, I can't remember the name of it. Something or other. It's a fascist group, because he said maybe we should start looking at those who have been here for a long time legally, but maybe they should go. And this is the point. So when you have people saying, "Oh, it's about illegal migration. We care about the safety of people," that's not what it is. And the end point, the logical end point for these people is, I don't care about logic. I don't care that Mehdi Hasan has he has legal status, that he is a citizen, right? Mm-hmm. What matters really is the fact that he's brown, because someone next to him could say, I moved to this country 5 years ago, because they're whites. That doesn't matter to them. It's because Mehdi Hasan is brown. So there's no point in him saying, well, I'm a citizen here. I'm here legally. These people don't give a shit. Mm-hmm. They tell the media and supporters and voters, oh, it's, look, if you come here and you get a job and you work hard, we don't care. I promise you, they do care. They're just using illegal migration as an entry point. And once you buy into that project, then it's remigration, which is it's actually not new. It's a very old idea, which is being popularized again, which is basically we need to start basically going back to second, third immigrants and saying it doesn't matter if your grandparents are here, you need to go. But specifically, it's targeted black and brown people, particularly. It's all about white ethno-nationalism at the end of the day.
And did you not... maybe I'm being absolutely insane, but when Mehdi was asking them about their thoughts on what was happening in Gaza and with Israel, there was one woman who kept making it about religion. She was like, Jews, Muslims. Yeah. And then it was almost as though they maybe I'm reaching here, but denouncing that the Holocaust was happening, I think with Connor almost was venturing into that, because he criticized what the Nazis did to the Catholics.
He sort of went, there was a little bit of persecution, maybe. He sort of conceded a tiny...
It was so weird, and I was like, this is someone who probably is a great replacement theorist, and like we know for a fact that the Holocaust is one of those things that is one of the most how am I phrasing this? I've been out of work for a bit, guys. Really well documented moment in history. Like, it's so well documented. It's one of the most documented moments in history that it's like you cannot. It's like it's there. You can't deny it. Yeah. And then they were sat there almost wanting to deny that these things were happening and almost justify that Jewish people are suffering in the way that they are. And then there was the woman who was criticizing Muslims and blah blah blah. But like that's where I felt like it was going down, and that's what started to scare me even more. The people who are so anti-Semitic are fascists. They are fucking awful.
It's the people like Candace Owens have sort of, she's modelled herself as like, I'm pro-Palestine, but it's like, that's how much she hates Jewish people. That's it. She doesn't give a shit about the Palestinian people. There was one woman who, Mehdi Hasan was like, why do you keep bringing up Muslims? There are Christian Palestinians. And she went, not really. Like,
well, it's very beneficial to make this a religious thing, right?
Yes, Israel, which it never has been.
Right, exactly.
Israel was founded by secular Jewish people and an atheist, I believe.
Well, that was the exact point that Mehdi Hasan made. He's like, you do realise that back in those days anyway, those who are particularly typically Zionists were more secular even. And that's where you have sort of traditional sort of the Jewish community, more Orthodox Jewish community, who are actually, I mean, for different reasons, are saying that they disagree with Israel and the state. Sure. But it is very easy, and this is what the why you have elements of the far right supporting Israel, because one might think that's impossible. Isn't the far right synonymous with neo-Nazism, and isn't Israel a Jewish state? But the thing is, though, the reason why there's an element of the far right that supports Israel is they like Israel's policies of ethnic nationalism. Right? They want to import it over here. And also because the far right's biggest target, I mean, obviously back in the 30s and 40s was Jewish people. Today it's brown people, Muslims, and because they see this through the lens of religion, that basically Israel stands up for Judeo-Christian values, and Palestine and the Middle East is all about Arabs and Muslims. Therefore, I want to stand on the side of the Judeo-Christians, even if they hate Jewish people. They're almost willing to swallow that hatred for Jewish people because at the end of the day, they want to be on the side of Judeo-Christian values, which for them is is basically white people. Now, of course, that is not what it's about. It's not a religious war. It's a political war, which you're correct. It was 1948, the Balfour Declaration, where we literally created the state of Israel.
Yeah.
And there are many Christian Palestinians. But it's very easy. And this, it's not just the far right doing it, it's the mainstream media that really buy into this. This is why you have people in the media saying that these pro-Palestine rallies, they're Hamas, they're, extreme, Islam, extreme Muslim terrorists and anti-Semitic, because they want to make it about community and religion and race, when it's not about that. It's about political leaders, it's about settler colonialism, and it's the same story over and over again. Every state wants to expand. And right now it's Israel under the guise of the US and the UK and the West, because obviously we have a very mutual beneficial deal here. Israel advances colonialism for the UK, the US.
Yeah, there were in London yesterday big neon signs up saying if you protest in favour of a prescribed organisation, you could face arrest. And I saw it and I thought of all the times I hear, like, we don't want to end up like China. You get arrested just for disagreeing with the government. If you go to China, I'm like, I wouldn't have a clue what that feels like. I don't know. I don't know if that's true. I spent 10 hours in Shanghai in December, and what I realized was if you have 100% electric vehicles on the roads, which they do there, you can have a chat walking down the street. I didn't get arrested for saying that sounds pretty good. So, but I know that people are getting arrested for going against the government here. By protesting in favour of Palestine action.
Exactly.
How did we get here? The Labour have been in a year and they're far more authoritarian than the Tories before them were. And I'm sure the Tories are absolutely fine with it. But it doesn't say much for the change with a capital C, and we all know what that stands for.
Yeah, scary times.
Autumn Leaver says, lovely to see Sarah back on the show, because that's been a while.
It has been a while. I've been really busy with work, but it's good to be back. I'm really, really happy. So yeah, good to be back.
They also say that Suze equals top tier poster. We do enjoy your Blue Sky and Twitter posts, don't we?
I'm a nasty piece of work.
Never change, please.
That's what we like to hear. We've actually got Autumn 3 in a row, and it's quite funny because they say, Cog, please read one of Choki's comments tonight. Would mean a lot to her. It's actually not Cog, it's Curtis. That's probably why you got 3 comments in a row. Maybe Cog is biased against Autumn. Maybe he's a summer guy, which, to be fair, he is abroad somewhere enjoying some nice cocktails. I think after his second cocktail, he's already saying he's kind of drunk, which I remember my first beer. I thought this was a really good comment, though, from Choki. Jubilee is the scummiest show. And I think it's important. I think you said it, Suze, that it's platforming these people, right? And Mehdi Hasan, he said that he didn't realise the debate was like this. He thought I was debating MAGA people.
Yeah, Trumpers. He thought that's who he was going to be debating with, and he had genuinely been misled by the show. Now, when Jordan Peterson was on, it was, I believe, 20 atheists debate a Christian. Yeah. And about halfway through the debate, Jordan Peterson, through his tears, went, "No, I'm not. I won't say whether I'm Christian or not." And the guy who the atheist who'd run to the middle of the circle said, "But that's what we're debating here. So what do you think you're appearing on?" And then Jubilee changed the title of the show to 20 Atheists Debate Jordan Peterson. So Jubilee feels like a far right endeavour at this point. They'll do what they're, because Jordan Peterson's is part of the reactionary right, well and truly. They'll do what what's comfortable for him. Yet Mehdi Hasan, they will mislead him into appearing on a show that is essentially, I know that the record itself takes about 3 hours. So it's basically 3 hours of a man of Indian origin being yelled at by white supremacists. That's terrifying.
Yeah, I mean,
they put him through that is terrifying. He seemed to handle it very well because he's awesome and worth 10 of 20 of them.
Yeah. I mean, I think that for me, Jubilee are probably sort of milquetoast liberals, because they started their main show with I can't remember the name of it, but they get like a left panel and a right panel, but it's
Yeah.
usually liberal. It's liberal than ultra conservative. It's
Right.
like finding a common ground or whatever.
Right.
That bullshit. And common ground, right? It's called that. And I think that they're probably just milquetoast liberals who probably don't quite understand what they're doing. And I don't think me personally, don't think there's any kind of ideological bent, which is like, let's try and shoehorn in far right talking points. For them, it's like, one, it's great for views.
Yes.
Superb for clicks. And two, some of these people might be thinking, do you know what, if we platform these people, they're going to look really, really stupid and it's not going to be good for them. Well, that's not really the case, is it? Because apparently exposing stupidity to the masses doesn't expose them for being stupid. It actually just convinces people to do stupid things and say stupid things. It's why Donald Trump can be elected when saying immigrants are eating cats and dogs. An insane lie. The right are becoming more and more crazy. Their lies are getting more insane.
They've only got one direction they can go, and they keep going there, and Jubilee follows suit.
Yeah.
And the Labour Party follows suit, and the Democrats follow suit. Anything to keep the left out, isn't it? Like,
pretty much, yeah.
If Jubilee are milquetoast liberals, then I only have to look at all of history to know where that leads. They walk hand in hand with the fascists, and there they are literally doing it.
I'm too scared to say anything. I just got kicked out again. I'm not going to say anything. Like, I do think they're fucking wet wipes, but.
Well, Dominic Jones says the turn left team are hugs, which are
there you go.
Definitely take that. So our next comment from Specs Bean Farmer. This is in relation to pensions. The unpaid work, mostly done by women, makes the country run, not wanker bankers moving numbers around on a spreadsheet. And of course, I mean, I think this is a broader point about how we see the economy and society through the lens of the very wealthy. And it's always about how cost cutting and savings on pensioners, whether it's getting rid of the triple lock, because as Liz Kendall says that the triple lock might not be so safe, whether it's going after PIP, and I know they didn't quite get that through, but they bloody well tried to take money off disabled people, or the 2-child benefit cap and keeping children in poverty, but they never. And once again, Rachel Reeves has ruled out a wealth tax.
Yeah, again and again, even though there is public support for a wealth tax as people become more aware of what it means, thanks to like really good commentators, like, for example, Gary Stevenson. He makes it very accessible. And people like Richard Murphy, they make it very accessible. So now there is public support for a wealth tax. It's like Rachel Reeves is digging her heels in further with that.
But it makes her look like an absolute idiot. Like, it makes her look like some flip-flopping fish that doesn't know whether she's coming or going, doesn't know her left from her right. And like, these U-turns will just make people go, fuck you, Labour, I don't want to invest in you anymore. And you are literally just you're Tories, basically. And I've convinced myself now that we won't see Starmer do a full term. I really don't think we will.
I can't imagine it. I think McSweeney will go first and Reeves will go then.
Yeah.
I can't see Starmer fighting the next election, but hey, who knows?
I suppose you don't really have Starmer without McSweeney. McSweeney sort of put him in that place.
No, and I think he might end up sacking him and making him the scapegoat. I thought he might go a couple of weeks ago. I was like, is he going to go now? Are they going to get rid now? Please, it would be so funny.
I mean, like the question is, who comes next? And I think it's got to be Wes Streeting. He's definitely
he's a true believer.
Yes, true believer. Very good. I agree.
Streeting would be a wonderful choice for Labour. Terrible choice for the country. I mean, he barely kept his own seat.
I don't know. Something about him is really weird, and like he's been saying a lot of the right things recently. Like there was this there's a news piece came out today about the racism in the NHS when it comes to Black women experiencing childbirth, and that they're not administered pain medication, and they're told these awful overtly racist things when wanting to go into when going into labor, and he was like, yeah, we know that the NHS is incredibly racist and we need to do things about it. And I'm like, okay, cheers, Streeting.
Well, I think he's smart because obviously the reason why he's smart, he's speaking to Labour members there. He's not speaking to anybody else. And I think that if he were to suddenly sound more progressive when he announces his leadership bid, people are going to look at Keir Starmer and go, well, we voted for Keir Starmer because he was Jeremy Corbyn in a suit. And he lied to us. So Wes Streeting is obviously lying to us. So what he's doing is clever, which is to sort of sow the seeds of progressive talking points before he announces. I suspect that's what it is. I don't think he really cares.
Yeah, I don't think
No, I'm sure he doesn't. It's vaguely apolitical, isn't it, to be able to go like, oh, racism in NHS, that sounds really bad.
Bad things are bad.
Because every political party would say that. I'm sure right down to Reform would go like, oh, there's discrimination in NHS, bad NHS, bad. So that's fairly safe ground for him. Whereas if we take someone like, I'm sure you've already covered this on this show, but if you take someone like Diane Abbott, there's no way Wes Streeting would stand up and go, hey, maybe we should listen.
Yeah.
We should listen to the lady.
Quite right. Jack H says, can anyone in the chat tell me if this is true or not? I read a post on X that Palestinians in Gaza used to be able to feed a family for £2. That cost nearly £200. If that is true, who profits? So what's happened there is hyperinflation.
Yeah.
This was actually covered on Novara. An economist, I've completely forgotten her name, spoke about how basically there's hyperinflation in Gaza at the moment. So everything's getting really expensive. And yes, that is kind of caused by Israel. I can't remember how specifically they're doing it, but they're basically making sure that their currency is the strong currency, and they're trying to make sure that that's the only currency in Gaza. So that is why. Obviously, someone's profiting. I don't know if anyone's financially profiting, but in terms of political capital and another way of making life more difficult for Gazans, it's Israel once again. So it's not that things are. It's not like there's £198 markup on things. It's just that there's massive hyperinflation, largely caused by when there's more conflict. So during the ceasefire times, the so-called ceasefires, I mean, they last a couple of weeks because Israel kept bloody breaking them. The hyperinflation was down, so inflation wasn't too high. It was fine. And then when the fighting resumes, inflation went up. So that's another. There's like different ways of how you can commit a genocide through direct killing, through starvation, and kind of a sort of an economic sanction, if you want to call it that way, which is Israel knows it's very hard for these people to get hold of important things if inflation is so high when fighting resumes. So that is a reason. Jamie is a girl's name too, says tax the rich. Of course, I think we all agree with that.
No, that's too simplistic. No.
You're jealous of the rich people.
Yeah.
They're the wealth creators.
What was that phrase from the article that we'd analysed, Curtis, a while back? People who are rich but not quite rich yet, something like that. Like there's a term. Came from the Telegraph. I don't remember. Sorry, I'm not okay. What is it? I'll try to think about it. Sorry, I just.
Do you find that both of you? Do you find that by being like loud and on the left, and very visible online and on the left, you get both told you're poor and you're jealous of the rich, and you're just rich and out of touch and you don't get it? It's amazing how we can be both of those things.
Mate, it's so fucking true, Suze. Like, so one thing that me and Lewis always talk about, I grew up so working class, like temporary accommodation gal,
right?
Like really like free school meal kid, like, so it was food bank, you name it, we fucking did it. Like we were in council housing, whatever. Like, so people are like, oh, but you're a fucking posho, and I'm like, you don't know me. You don't know my struggle. And it's true. It's like it's one of the other. They say, oh, why don't you just work harder? But you wouldn't get it because you're a posher, you're middle class, and this, that, and the other. And I'm like, no, I'm not. I just got. Unfortunately, I got an English degree and I fucking love it.
Unfortunately, you got a brain, and you can't possibly have a brain. That's not a thing. It must just be you're rich.
I think it's just a southern accent, isn't it?
It does seem to be that. I get told how posh I am all the time. There's a prominent political grifter that I won't name who always refers to me as a nepo baby, but never names who I'm nepoing off. I'm like, who is this?
Are you sure you,
He's got all these connections.
are you sure you can't name drop?
Nah, I'll tell you after.
I want to know.
They're obsessed with me, put it this way.
Well, I'm obsessed with you too.
It was Sarah. Calls me an Nepo baby.
Specs Bean Farmer again says, who's shocked reform side with private business? Nobody who's shocked, of course, that is in reference to Sarah Ponchin saying, is it Ponchin? Ponchin, I keep saying Ponchin, about, maybe the prices aren't that high.
It was such a bad moment. It was such a. You could tell she was going. Oh shit. Oh god. I didn't realize any of this job would involve having to speak off the cuff, and she just came out with, maybe you should put the prices up. Terrible moment for reform.
Yeah, she's an idiot.
I mean, she said it with such confidence, but like people are struggling.
Yeah.
Definition of faking it till you make it. Like I think she doesn't know how to go into that role, and now she's like losing her shit. She doesn't know what she's talking about. How dare you fucking say that? That's not going to get people to vote for you.
No. Farage will be having a swift word at the whip's office. Oh, you'll be going the way of Rachel Maskell.
Well, I think these times where you want to clip and show people, look, they are on the side of private capital.
Yes.
You know, we're working class people who like reform. Well, this is Sarah Ponchin quite literally saying, like, the bread and butter issues, which is bills.
Yeah.
Is saying that, well, they're not really that high. And it's not just about sort of the cost of bills, right? That's one thing. But the second thing is, because it's privatised, we've got shareholders making a profit. And also because it's privatised, there's shit in our water. So no one's going to go, oh, do you know what? I'm paying a reasonable price for a bit of shit in my water. It's not something you should say.
No. And I've been saying this since day dot, that one of the few things that's really, really crippling this country is privatization and underinvestment. Like these two things are crippling us in this country. Like it's not as a result of, like what you were saying earlier, Curtis, where it's just kind of easy to go with the anti-migrant narrative, but actually the things that are really impacting us are these big hitters: austerity, privatization, deindustrialization, underinvestment. Like these are the factors that are fucking having us suffer the way that we are. So yeah.
Next comment, I've lost my place now. Andrew Wilton, aka Tic Tac Music. I love this guy. Only economist I can understand. That's Richard Murphy, because he's very good at, because he makes a lot of YouTube videos, and I think he's very good at explaining things in a simple way.
I agree, especially for someone like me, because sometimes I don't understand what the economy's doing. I just get letters saying that my bill's gone up.
It's a vibe.
Like signed Sarah, and then at the bottom, it says, you're welcome.
I thought you could just pay a little bit more for water.
Aren't you glad it's as expensive as electricity now? Makes things fair.
Terrible.
Tracer Eva, water should have never been privatised.
Facts. It's a basic human right. Make it make sense.
Yeah.
Make it make sense.
I always remember, was it the 2017 election where someone, who said it? And they went, what are you going to nationalise next? Sausages? It's like, well, they already nationalised the water. You might as well nationalise sausages. They're
the sausages.
Fucking nationalising whatever they fancy.
Yeah.
I'm going to nationalise the neighbour's cat. That's next. Get some of that beautiful privatized cat money. Sorry, I've done an hour and
I know.
I'm onto the neighbour's cat now.
Delirious.
I'm going to renationalise the neighbour's cat. I'm going to renationalise all housing.
Oh, that's good.
Because we're on the left and we're very powerful and we're just going to get it done.
You're powerful.
Come on. We run everything. And we cancel everyone. Haven't you heard?
Yeah, we control all institutions, the media, apparently.
That's right.
Friend of the show, Noffel Can. We nationalised Northern Rock in the 2008 crisis via bonds. Didn't hear any of this rubbish because it saved us. Now we need the same with water. For fuck's sake.
Yeah. Well, fucking said, Noffel. I feel like this is yours and Noffel's bread and butter, actually, because
I reckon that is Sarah being cancelled again.
It's funny because that happened under Brown, didn't it? And Brown is probably the only prime minister since '79, and he didn't do it enough to vaguely push back even on the Thatcherite consensus. It was just a tiny amount, and it was incredibly necessary at the time. It had shades of like how in lockdown everything suddenly went very fucking socialist, didn't it? We're all being, here you go, here's money to make sure you can all afford to live. There you are. And it was all possible, and they got all homeless people off the streets. It was all possible, and the nationalization of Northern Rock, that was entirely possible because it was necessary. So all we've got to do is get a leader who says, no, it's just necessary, so we're going to do it. But
Brown is definitely one of the few Labour leaders I don't actually hate. Now, I don't think he's amazing or anything.
No, absolutely. I'm not here like eulogizing Brown, especially as he's alive.
God, Susan's a Brownite. She's centre left, not a radical.
Do you know what? Do you know who's brilliant? Gordon Brown. And do you know what? Apart from Iraq, do you know who's brilliant? Tony Blair.
Sacrilege.
I'm one of those people.
You're the grown up in the room, and we're the...
he made a bad decision on Iraq, but other than that, he was perfect, and he's worth listening to now. That's me. I'm gonna make the rounds as I'm gonna be an aggro-centrist from now on.
Sarah, obviously got cut out, but like, Noffa makes such a good point, because it's like, oh, we had to nationalise the banks because they're important. Obviously, when it concerns wealthy people and the banks, something needs to be done. But forgive me if I'm wrong, but I also thought water was quite important as well. We kind of need it.
That's exactly what I wanted to say before I got dropped. I don't know, something's happening. I think someone's trying to cancel me. But no, it's true. When it comes to protecting wealth interests, when it comes to protecting class interests for the wealthy, that's when they're like, our backs are up. We have to make sure that we make it done, and we're going to get it done. We're going to get it done ASAP. But when it comes to things that people deserve access to because it's a basic human right, it's almost like, let's just think about it for a sec. Let's go back to the drawing board, because I don't really think it's that important. But no, the thing is, we know that those who come from poorer areas, low socioeconomic backgrounds, will have access to worse things. So if you have access to worse water, your life expectancy is going to be low. Like, these things do impact them. And then they complain when these people go to food banks or go to get some, you know, some top up or some help, some refuge, some solace in a country that should be providing things quite nicely, but they're not. But yeah, I completely agree with you.
Yeah, so it's 46 years into this, so several generations deep in what Thatcher did to ravage these areas, and nothing's been done about them, and now they're made the problem.
Yeah, terrible.
What have we got next? I know time is getting on. I'll just do some quick readouts then. Vercingetorix, I really hope I didn't butcher that name. No shit in the water. Best we can is raise the price and more shit in the water. That puts Labour to a T. Specs being farmed again. This is why there are Greens and Reform swing voters. Political apathy is at dangerous levels. Yeah, people don't... Well, the media commentary can't seem to understand there is the common ground, not in terms of policy. Well, maybe in some things, nationalisation, although I don't believe reform. But there are lots of people who are looking at both Reform and Greens because they're seen as the anti-establishment. Yes,
and Labour are mostly losing votes to the left. They're losing votes to Green and to Liberal Democrats, but what are they for? Like, I suppose if you find Greens a bit much, but you are sick of Labour, you can go over to the Lib Dems. Either way, they're losing votes to the left because the Lib Dems are currently to the left of Labour rather than to the right. So it's the Tories who are hemorrhaging votes to Reform.
Yeah,
the Tories are now an irrelevant party. Essentially, they are the official opposition, but they're completely irrelevant. So
we'll see how the Greens do. I'm not optimistic. I'm sorry.
No, I think I mean, this is going back to like 2019, but I can remember talk of this progressive alliance, and I still don't think it's impossible.
Yeah, I need to be a little bit more optimistic. I know that if Callum was here, he'd be like, give it some time. And I'm like, I want the Greens to be fucking aggressive. Like, I want them to be like, you know, do you know what I mean? Like, it's one of those things where I've been consistent in saying that. I've said it since day dot. I just want the Greens to be really, really fucking aggressive.
Yeah, I have a lot of time for Zach Polanski, who I think is an absolute shoo-in. And I think he's got that same thing Mamdani has, where he will directly answer every question, and he's not constantly like, oh no, I apologize for that, in his body language and his speech. He's not apologizing for being aggressive and full on, and I like that he's not attacking the independent, like he's not taken the announcement from Corbyn as Sultana as like opposition. He's like, good, there is more representation on the left, and I found that very encouraging for the future.
Suze, what do you make of, obviously you've said your thoughts on Zap Polanski.
Yeah.
Your thoughts on this Corbyn Sultana party happening at this time? Are you worried about splits, or do you think that this could be a good time for the left? There could be coalition building. What's your thoughts?
Yeah, well, we're 4 years from an election. At this point, I'm not worried about vote splits or anything like that. That can all be dealt with at a later date. But to have a robust, proper progressive platform across several parties in this country is never going to be a bad thing, because the myth that, oh well, you see, the right always stick together, the left will always fight amongst themselves, is total horseshit, because Reform can't stay friends. There's only fucking 5 of them, and the Reform can't stay friends for more than about 6 minutes at a time. So they're constantly splits in the right-wing parties. It's just that prior to the election we've just had, you had the right represented by the Tories and Farage, who would drop out of any election at the drop of a hat if it meant like Brexit got done, and then it did. And then you had all these parties to the left of the Tories splitting the vote. Now you've got Reform taking votes off the Tories. You've got Labour moving ever more to the right. And then you've got all these parties in the centre and to the left of that who could form a progressive alliance. And I don't think it's impossible. And I'm not talking about like a 2010 style coalition. I know. The fact that in the last election, the Greens and Independents won record seats and record vote shares is not some anomaly. It's only going in one direction. And as upsetting as that is for people who are like, no, if they've got a red tie on it, it's good, and they're the only party that can win. People are believing that less and less. So I actually feel quite optimistic. I have felt more optimistic in the last year than I did in the 2 or 3 years previously to that. Like, I found election night a year ago weirdly buoying, because I knew Labour were going to win, and they were going to win a landslide. But when they only got 33% of the vote, and when people like Ashworth lost his seat, what a moment.
Incredible.
Again, it was like, hey, come on, banter timeline, do your thing. But I went, oh, look, I'd been told for years up until this point, the left is dead, accept it, you're irrelevant, you're dead, there's no point you saying anything, just shut the fuck up and let the grown-ups do their job. And I saw election night and went, well, I'm glad I stayed up for this, because I found out that the left isn't dead, and it remains undead. There'll be no unaliving of the left under my watch.
We have got some super chats. Tracer Eva again. Thank you so much. 1999, very generous. More women presenters and more women guests. Pretty please, sister. Solidarity. Definitely agree.
Tracy.
Obviously, it's no secret that there's currently at Turn Up there's 4 guys and 1 woman. That is not by design. But it seems to be like, it is true though, Sarah, that when it comes to content creation, especially in politics, it's still dominated by men.
It is.
Yeah.
100%. I was thinking about it today, actually. I was scrolling through my TikTok For You page, and most of the people that I follow, I mean, I follow a few women as well, and femme presenting people who do comment on politics, but majority of them are men. It's insane. Yeah, and you think about like left media outlets as well, or just journalists as a whole. Most of them tend to be men. So we're breaking through. We're going to break through. Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah, there needs to be generally. Obviously, we want more women representation here at Turn Left, but like generally, it has to be. But I do wonder if it's I mean, I don't know what you two think, but if it's like a safety thing, that do you think are women less likely to go into these sort of avenues because of fear, or do you think it's lack of opportunity, or what do you think it could be?
By both. I think it's both. Do you know what I was thinking about today? I went for a run. I don't know why I was thinking about this. And I said, because I'm doing London Marathon next year. Yeah, I did London Marathon for the Children's Society. It's a charity. It's really, really great charity. But that's a digression. I'm on Strava and I have I'm part of the Strava cult, and my route, it puts my route in. And I was like, fuck, what if someone that follows me on social media then finds my Strava account and then realizes where I live, and then they try to find me, and then my mind started like catastrophizing, and they're like, maybe because they don't agree with like my my political opinions, or they think that what I'm saying is absolute horseshit, or that I'm chatting too much shit about Jubilee. Like, fuck knows, like they might just like come find me. And then on top of that, I do think it's also access. Like, I have to also recognize that I am a Black woman trying to break into a pretty, you know, saturated market already, but one that is dominated by certain voices. So I think it's access. I think it's representation. I think it's yeah, things are limited for women, and that's not coming from like a victim mentality. I think that's just the fact.
Oh, that's okay. Now that's the fucking patriarchy,
they
right
didn't
there.
like that, did they? But look, they're letting the white woman speak. I get it the worst. Sarah's absolutely right. And I'm a white woman, so no one's ever going to abuse me racially. So, like, in that respect, I've essentially have no excuse to shut the fuck up. But I'm also dead stubborn. But yeah, God, the amount of horrible things I've read about myself, and I'm no one. I'm not a celebrity. I'm not even best known for being a political streamer. I'm just a stupid comedian. But the things I've read about myself from people in the center and people on the right make me go, my God, where do you come up with this shit? And why be obsessed with me? I'm not anyone. They do. I have people who are literally obsessed with me and write about me all the time, and I'm like, I don't know who you are, and I don't know how you find out this stuff about me, but it's really creepy behavior.
It's scary.
Well, Susan, I know how you can definitely help in a little way is if you were to definitely come back on the show.
Oh, can I?
Only with me.
Yes.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Only with me. Yeah.
We've got 2 more super chats, then we'll wrap up. The Duke of Norton with 65 SEK. I'm really sorry, I don't know that currency. I don't know. I really don't know.
I think it's
Anyway, they say I'm white, blonde, and Swedish, and stopped all plans to travel to the US now because it's gone beyond. I mean, look, when it's
krona.
I don't know.
Oh, is it Swedish?
Krona?
I guess so.
We sound so dark.
I would guess from the comment.
Yeah.
He literally said he's Swedish. Or she. Sorry, I can't quite see your avatar.
I think it's Swedish.
Should we go with Swedish krona?
Okay.
Yeah. I think that when typically, obviously, the first target is migrants and particularly people of color. But they're going after white people, and of course, that's when the media really takes notice. That's when they think it's a problem, right? But it also is to say that to the right wing who do not care about people of color, migrants, that they think it's just them. Trust me, fascists will go for everyone in the end. You're going to get got in the end, and I think this is probably an example of that.
This takes us back to Silly Connor when he said, well, what if they try and kill you? It'd be all right with that. He went, well, they won't kill me.
Yeah.
I'm a Catholic.
Prick.
Yeah.
Prick.
It's like, well, Connor, they might do because you're really annoying.
I like that. Just so
I literally didn't realise that came out so.
It was good. And Vicky Clee with the £5 super chat says that clip about hyperinflation in Gaza. So what I was referenced to was it was a segment on Navarra, and that's the link to it. So if anyone is interested in hearing about why there's hyperinflation in Gaza, they can go check that out.
I've done some fundraiser gigs for medical aid for Palestinians. Did a gig last month where it's just a stand-up gig called Jews for Gaza. It's just all Jewish comedians doing a gig for Gaza. It sounds pretty anti-Semitic to me. And
Yeah.
the money was being concentrated. It raised a lot of money, and it was being concentrated for this one Palestinian family, and the daughter, who's about 21, she has started a soup kitchen to feed her local community. But they were talking about how it's basically 10 quid for an onion. So that's what the money's going for, so that she can feed her local community, which I think is amazing.
I think it's amazing that you're doing that as well, and thank you for
Yeah, what I meant was I'm amazing.
yeah, no.
Don't disagree with that.
I don't disagree with that either.
Okay, that is for the comments. We went quite long today, so I'm going to duck out and hand it back over to Sarah.
Thank you so much, Uncle Curtis. No, but genuinely, thank you so much. Thank you to Suze. You're just so fucking incredible.
Oh, thanks.
You are. It's been so great.
The Boslow.
No, don't even. You've actually been amazing. Your insight's been incredible. Your analysis has been impeccable too. So please come back and only come with me.
Thanks, will do.
No, I'm joking. But thank you to you guys as well, the viewers who tuned in. And of course, thank you to Sue. She did a great job. Remember to like the stream. And if you're not a subscriber, then hit that button. Apologies for the tech issues. It's not my fault, completely out of my hands. But if you want us to grow, then you can head over to turnleftmedia.co.uk/support. There is a link to our Patreon where you can support us monthly, or follow the other link to give us a one-time contribution. Alternatively, you can become a YouTube member for just 99p. How was that, Jim? Was that better? I've been practicing. But that's it for us. Have an amazing week. I'm Sarah Dallal, and I'll see you guys next time.
Support independent media. Support social justice that's there on social media. Thank you. Turn left.